stand. I hope you're all doing very well this morning. If I'm absolutely honest, I'm not feeling that great this morning, but I think that in itself is probably a good thing. The disappointment is still real after last night, but I think context is really important. I don't actually put a lot of blame at Solskjaer's door. I don't actually put a lot of blame at Manchester United's door. I just think it's one of those things whereby we've been on a great run, we're still unbeaten. Look, as I said yesterday morning, what's different from yesterday morning? We're not in third place, that's the big thing, but we're still top of the league in relation to where, since Bruno's came in at the start of February. We're still unbeaten, and we just had a really bad day yesterday. I don't think you can carry that many players playing that way. But I think that context, as I said, is always very important. And a week ago, when Mason Greenwood was doing really well, there's people in the live comments going, well, what if we get Jadon Sancho? What does it mean to Mason Greenwood? Maybe we shouldn't get Jadon Sancho. And hence, look, the Sancho transfer risk is the title of the show today. And it's twofold, really. One, we need to get Champions League football if we want to get Jadon Sancho. We've put pressure on ourselves now. If we'd won last night, we wouldn't have had so much pressure in these last 3 games. Manchester United have got pressure now. They've applied pressure. Whether it's through, we know that they can have a bad day now. I couldn't see that coming last night. You know I was very confident. I didn't see United playing a game where Greenwood, Bruno and Pogba all had pretty poor games. And also, you know, Wan-Bissaka had a bad game again, I think. Matic was okay. Defence switched off. I mean, over half our team switched off yesterday, and I thought we had enough leaders for that not to happen. And they were all leaders as well. Harry Maguire, Matic, Bruno, Pogba. These are leaders, and they switched off. And United paid the price because of that. And some might say, you know, these things happen. But we've got to get Champions League football if we want Jadon Sancho. I've been saying that for a long time. And 2, the main thing really here is that you need decent squad depth. I cannot believe how many times we get people saying, do we need Sancho? What's it going to mean for Greenwood? I think we saw with Mason Greenwood yesterday what I've been saying for a very long time. And a lot of people have been saying it for a long time. Mason Greenwood's 18. Wayne Rooney at 18 didn't play 60 games a season, 10 out of 10. He's a phenomenal talent, Mason Greenwood. So was Wayne Rooney. But they're 18 years of age. You cannot just say, we've solved our problems, give the dividends to the Glazers. We got to go and sign Jadon Sancho. And there is a risk now. We've put a bit of pressure onto ourselves because you've got to get Champions League football. And also there is a risk that the club think, well, we don't need Sancho. We don't need Sancho. We don't need Grealish. We've got a great team. We're going to be fine. And again yesterday, we saw the drop-off. I don't trust our bench. I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's creatively good enough. I like Fred. I like McTominay. But how many goals have they created this season? How many goals have they scored this season? Bruno has a bad game, we're screwed. Pogba has a bad game, we're screwed. And that's what happened yesterday. We had very little creativity from the midfield because Bruno didn't play well, Pogba didn't play well. You can bring Fred on, you can bring McTominay on, but let's be honest, Southampton and every other team that we've brought our midfield, changed our midfield after lockdown, they've come back into the game. We were scared of it. I thought Pogba was taken off too early, as I said last night, but we were scared about it. But this is why Manchester United must get the Jadon Sancho deal done. And this is why they have put themselves at a little bit of a risk. But also, it's not just Jadon Sancho for me. It's Jack Grealish. Like, if Bruno plays like that, you're hanging on, waiting for him to do something. I think the substitution of Bruno was well overdue last night, and I'm his biggest fan. And even in a bad game, he still got an assist. But if you've got someone like Grealish, I mean, look, did he ever look like he was going to bring Pereira on last night? And yet we've got these rumours that United have told Pereira he's going nowhere. Yet in a game where we needed some creativity, he sends Fred and McTominay on. He doesn't bring Pereira on. Lingard's not even on the bench. Was Mata on the bench? I don't know. Was Mata on the bench? I can't even remember. I don't think Mata was on the bench, was he? Don't think Mata was on the bench, no. So Mata and Lingard not even on the bench. Pereira not even trusted to go on and give us some creativity. That, to me, if I'm Ed Woodward or I'm the Glazers or I'm Sir Alex Ferguson, Sir Alex can say something if he wants, but if I'm Michael Carrick or Mike Phelan or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and I'm sat here this morning and I'm going, Bruno and Pogba had a bad game, where's my creativity from the bench? Well, we had Pereira. We didn't even put Mata and Lingard on the bench, and we didn't even dare use Pereira. That's 3 players probably on about 300 grand a week between them. And we won't use them when we need an attacking midfielder. So for me, it's not just Jadon Sancho we need to get. We need to get Jack Grealish. I think last night was an eye-opener as to how far away we are from title contenders. Because next season, you're still going to have to play the Southamptons, the Evertons, the teams that on their day, when they're up for it, and Southampton had nothing to lose last night, they'll have a go at you. And that's what I saw last night. I still think we're going to get top 4. I'm still confident about that. I think my disappointment is that I thought too much of this team. And I think this team maybe thought too much of itself. And it's an eye-opener. That's what it is. It'd be an eye-opener to Solskjaer. So look, there's nothing wrong in that. It's not a rant. It's not a moan. It's not negative. It's just an absolutely frank discussion that I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I think the players got it wrong. I think some fans got it wrong. I thought this team was a little bit further down the road than it is. And it's not. We've not put the handbrake on. It's not. We didn't lose. I mean, I've got Arsenal fans having a pop at me today. As I said, it's like, it's like a corpse having a go at somebody who stubbed their toe. We'll walk it off. You're dead. You're a dead club. Like, what? You're bantering us for drawing against Southampton. We're top of the league since Bruno came in for points accrued. We're unbeaten in 18. Like, this is a Man United fan issue to just discuss. It's not an outsider bantering us. I just don't get that in the biggest sense at all. But like Eddie J says, it's a wake up call. It is a wake up call for Manchester United this morning, and I think we've got to look at that and address that and see where we go from here. But Palace is a big game now. West Ham's a big game, and Leicester's a big game, and we're capable of winning those games. But I think we'll all go into them with that little bit of doubt now, because I went into that game last night and I was like, at Old Trafford with the players we've got, we're going to absolutely be fine. And I think what it showed is if we have a day like last night, which we can, we always know that night's there now, and that's the disappointing thing. It's that trust thing again, isn't it? I think before last night I was like, we've turned a corner, we're going to keep winning games, and we're going to be competitive now. Always in the back of my head, every game preview I do now, I'm going to be like, what if they turn up like Southampton? There's no excuses. That's our best 11. There's no player missing. There's no injury. They just didn't perform. And that is always in the back of your head now. So my next step is, well, if that team can let you down, although it's unbeaten, it can let you down, we need more quality on that bench so that if there are players that let you down, you bring quality on. And that's always been the problem. In an attacking sense, who do you bring off last night? I mean, Agallo's a good hold-up striker and scorer, but if you're not creating chances, Agallo's not a flair player. Dan James, don't trust him. Chong, don't trust him. Pereira, Lingard, Mata, do not trust them. We need some quality and depth. There's 2 players there. There's 2 players that we want. Sancho and Grealish, go and get them. Don't risk not getting them. But I think we might have to get top 4. I really do. Abraham says Ollie took our best players off. I mean, yeah, I think he's been doing that with Martial a lot lately. I don't agree with taking Pogba and Bruno off in a game like that. If you're playing a World Cup final and you're not playing particularly well, do you take Pogba off with half an hour to go? Do you ever take Bruno off? They don't want to come off. Why would you take them off? They might well be tired, but I mean, unless that they had to come off for that, I wouldn't have made the change if I'm absolutely honest with you. Mark, sometimes I just can't believe we paid 80 million for Maguire. He was marking Wan-Bissaka for the corner. Thiago Silva will be available for free. Well, look, you know what? In relation to that, and let me just, there's a stat I wanted to grab, which I've left on my phone, so let me just grab this. In relation to that, I cannot believe, and I've said this so many times on the watch along, I've said this before, and it really, really annoys me that we had a plan yesterday to just see a game out, really. Why is Flex ringing me? Does he not even fucking know I do a 10 o'clock show and I've done it every day for 4 months? Just stupid. Well, I can't believe it. Absolute crazy. But, right, so yeah, we've got this situation on defending corners, and I just can't believe it. I can't believe what we've done. Zonal marking. We used to mention this before Christmas. Harry Maguire gets a lot of stick, and I do want to talk about the situation at the centre-backs. I mean, look, Ollie said we didn't deserve to win. Southampton deserved something out of the game, and I think they definitely did. But, I mean, look, somebody's just saying there, where's your third position? This is really important to me as well. This is really important to me. I said yesterday that United will finish the day in third. I got it wrong. If I got everything right, I wouldn't be sat doing this show, would I? I'd be sat in a £1 million house, £1 million house, £1 billion house. I'd know everything. I don't profess to know everything. But what I do profess is this. We lacked character and winning attitude. How can you play to soak up pressure when you suck at playing out from the back? No ball playing defenders, says Naju Boyle. Yeah, but we're meant to have that with Lindelof. We are meant to have that with Lindelof. But all these people coming at us with third, these are the banter era fans. These are the people that I can't wait to put back in their box. Oh, you're still in third. You know who's saying we're still in fifth? Bloody Chelsea fans. Arsenal, Liverpool fans couldn't give a shit. Liverpool fans could not give a shit that we're in third because they're top. Man City haven't got any fans. So the people trying to banter Manchester United for being 5th are Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans. I mean, bloody hell. I am not having it from United fans saying you jinxed it yesterday. Go and put a Chelsea shirt or go and put an Arsenal shirt on. I can't be doing with that mentality. I can't be doing with, oh, we're not allowed to be confident about our side. Oh, we're not allowed to have a siege mentality. Oh, we're not allowed to be arrogant. I'll tell you what, 30 years of my life, I was taught to be arrogant as a fan. Sir Alex Ferguson was our manager. We weren't scared of anybody. We're Manchester United. Second place is the first loser. You go out there, you be the best, you be confident. A lot of United fans have that in it. I'm not interested in this modern United fan cowardice where you're like, oh, don't talk about us winning in case we get a bit of bantering, we don't win. You know, sod off. That's not what Manchester United's about. Manchester United is about winning. Manchester United is about a winning mentality. And yeah, it's not been like that for the last 6 years. And I sort of understand why people are a bit scared. But I tell you what, I've seen things over the last few weeks that I still believe after last night that this team is way better than every other team in this country apart from Manchester City and Liverpool. And the only reason we're in 5th place now is not because we're 18 games unbeaten. We're in 5th place now because of the start to the season we had where we lost to the likes of Newcastle and Bournemouth and Watford and Burnley. That's why we're in 5th. That's why we're on thin ice. But the run we've been on since February is nothing short of remarkable. And I look at that. So when people tell me or tell United fans who are confident and looking to the future, oh, look at you now, you're in 5th place. You're a banter person. You're banter. You're pure banter because you're not looking at why United fans are confident. We're not like Arsenal. Oh, bloody hell, we beat Wolves. We're going to beat Liverpool. We're going to beat Spurs. We're going to get 4th place even though we're crap. Like, we are actually doing things right. We've had a little bit of a little drop off last night, but we were like a minute away in a Harry Maguire header from getting 3 points, which we would have loved that. I would have embraced those 3 points last night because winning when you don't play well is so important, and we were so close to doing it. So, look, I refuse to get drawn into, oh, look at you, you're in 5th. I refuse to give up on the fact that we'll get 3rd. I refuse to go in on the manager and the players too much, other than to say I'm very disappointed. And that's what we should be disappointed today. We absolutely should be disappointed. And I totally and utterly, I agree with that. But I think going beyond that, it's silly. There's an issue with David De Gea's distribution, says David Walsh. Well, David De Gea's distribution didn't cost us the game yesterday. If Paul Pogba asks for the ball on the edge of the box and I'm a goalkeeper, I'm going to pass him the ball because we're playing pass out from the back. I think people go wandering off for agendas. Like, what are you going to do? Where's the Luke Shaw brigade? Let's blame Luke Shaw because he twisted his ankle. If he hadn't twisted his ankle, we would have won that game. Yeah, we probably would. But it's an injury. David De Gea passes out the back because Paul Pogba asks for the ball. If you don't know that, you don't know ball. David De Gea doesn't go, oh, there you go, Paul, I don't want it. Oh, it's a hot potato, pass the ball. Pogba asks for it and doesn't know that there's a player behind him. But the real reason we lose the game last night, I mean, Southampton didn't actually create that much. I watched it again this morning. They didn't create this much. Zonal marking. We've been doing zonal marking for a long time. Harry Maguire came out after the game and said it's really disappointing. We were conceding a lot of set pieces at the start of the season and we should be doing better than that. There's 3 or 4 of our players there at the front post and we should be winning that header. Yeah, you should. You should. You're the bloody captain. You're marking your area. I hate zonal marking. We've got the best aerial player in probably in Europe. Look at Harry Maguire's stats. He is aerially superior. Why is he not going to win that header in the I don't give a toss about zonal marking. I hate zonal marking. It's rubbish. It's the last minute of a game. You don't mark an area. Go and win the bloody ball. As I said in my match reaction last night, Nemanja Vidic would have said, I'm the captain. Move out my way, pick up your players. Wherever that ball goes, I'm heading it. I don't give a shit about your zonal marking. I don't give a damn about who I'm meant to be marking. I'm going to go and win that ball because it's the last minute of the game. And if somebody's going to beat me to that ball, well, they better be bloody Superman because I'm going to absolutely hit that ball on my head at the highest point and nobody's beating me. And what did he do? He ends up jumping Wan-Bissaka, barely gets off the ground. That's why we lost that game. Because Harry Maguire should not be zonal marking in the last 2 minutes of a game when a corner's coming in. You go and you clear everybody out. And we didn't. And then Lindelof. I mean, Paul Scholes said it. Lindelof has got to be stronger on that back post. And he has. He has. And I'm frustrated. And, you know, I know Harry Maguire's frustrated. And I know Lindelof's frustrated. So there's nothing more to be said. But look, we are seconds away from getting a hard-fought win. And we didn't. And we're going to have to look at that. And I think tactically, you're going to have to look at zonal marking. I hate zonal marking. When you've got one of the best aerial defenders in the league, in Europe, you don't have them stood there zonal marking. Because basically what zonal marking is that Harry Maguire is marking a space there. And if that ball comes into that space, it's his job to head it away. But because it doesn't come into his space, he doesn't jump for it. That's why Harry Maguire doesn't jump for it, because we're zonal marking again. He's not marking it, you know. I mean, it's just so frustrating because he's the best header, as I say, I've said that so many times now. He's not marking a player and he's not attacking the ball because he's marking an area. Zonal marking. And if the ball doesn't come into that area and there's nobody to mark in that area, he's redundant. The best header of the ball in our team, redundant in the last minute of a game when they're whipping a corner in. It's not acceptable. But this is tactics. This is tactics. Liverpool are going to beat Chelsea, says RU. Look, bit of positivity. We're actually level with Leicester. We're level with Leicester in fourth. So we're joint fourth. Even though we're fifth technically, we're joint fourth. We're 1 point behind Chelsea. Chelsea are playing Norwich tonight. They're going to win. They're not going to win 10-0, so their goal difference isn't going to be better than ours. But they will win. They'll go 4 points clear of us. We've got Palace on Thursday night. Leicester have got Sheffield United. We've got to win. We've got to win, and maybe Leicester will win, and we'll still be in joint fourth or fifth, whatever. The following week, Chelsea play Liverpool. We play West Ham. We've got to win. Are Liverpool going to lose at Anfield against Chelsea? They shouldn't do. They probably bloody will because Chelsea are getting to play teams who are on the beach. But if we beat Palace and we beat West Ham, I think Chelsea will lose or draw with Liverpool and we will go past them. If Leicester win against Spurs, they will still be above us on goal difference. But the final game of the season is Leicester against Manchester United and Chelsea against Wolves. So it's still there. Very disappointed with last night, but it's still there. Leicester have got Sheffield United, Spurs and us. Chelsea have got Norwich, Liverpool and Wolves. We've got Palace, West Ham and Leicester. It's still in our hands. And to be honest with you, how we react to this game now is going to be really important, isn't it? It really is. Because are we going to let it bother us mentally like some people are saying? And I don't know. I've got to have a think about it myself. I think the players need to have a think about it themselves. You know, we've got potentially some injuries at left back. Will the players be affected by that? We've seen it before with United. Really good run. One bad result, we drop off. I tell you what, it's such a tipping point for United. I feel that we're going to go and win on Thursday. But look at the recent history under Solskjaer. We have a really good run, bad result, and bad results follow. It's so pivotal. Is this team the team I thought it was yesterday morning? Or is it the same team that, you know, it's great when things are going well, but when it goes wrong, their heads drop? I'm hoping that's not going to happen. I'm really not. They've got to respond. They've got to respond, and they've got to respond for the next 3 or 4 games. But yeah, I do think we need a centre-back. I mean, look, if we look at the 3 things that I think stand out to me from last night's game, 1, all these people saying we don't need Sancho or what happens to Greenwood. You've got to get Sancho. You've got to get Grealish. 2, we've got to get Champions League football. We've got to get Champions League football from this position, because if we don't, I think the mental scarring that will have on the team will be huge, having put themselves in such a good situation again. And it's not dissimilar to what happened when Ollie first came into the club. We were nowhere near Champions League football when he took over from Mourinho. The March time, we actually beat Southampton. We had our hands on top 4, and then it slipped away in April, and we were nowhere near it. So it's a big, big, big test. It really is. And the centre-back issue still remains. There is a lack of pace in our centre-backs. And they didn't the things that they're good at, they didn't do well yesterday. They didn't pass the ball out from the back quick enough. They struggled under the press. And then at the end, they didn't defend a corner, which is exactly what your centre-back should be doing. They were both at fault for that goal. So, yes, not only do we need a centre-back that's quick, they're also making mistakes in key areas at the moment. It's just Maguire. All our players should have given everything for the win. It was Rashford whose man won the ball at the front post, says Joshua Harper. Yeah, but Joshua, you're not listening to what I'm saying there. Marcus Rashford's a striker. Nemanja Matic is a centre midfielder. Harry Maguire's our captain. He's our best header of the ball, and he's totally he's not involved. He's not attacking the ball. He's nowhere near it. He's nowhere near the goal that's scored on the back post or the header on the front post. He may as well get first in the showers. He's nowhere. And he's nowhere because of zonal marking. And I think Harry Maguire as captain has got to say, screw zonal marking, I'm winning the ball on this. Swap with Matic. Matic, you have that space, I'm having this space. Because actually, Harry Maguire's position is crap for a corner. He's not on the front post. He's not on the back post. He's sort of 2 metres off the front post in front of the 6-yard box. Not many corners are going to cause you a problem there. It's front post. Go and win it. It's frustrating. It really is frustrating. And let's have a look at Michael Hulbert says, we can still get third mark. It's in our hands, but it was a big lesson last night and the pressure is real. Look. I said Manchester United will get third in lockdown. I expected that to happen on the last game of the season. If we got it last night, I even said in the preview, it's ahead of where I predicted it would be. So look, actually my prediction still stands. I said third towards the end, probably gets against Leicester, we'll get it. But we should have got it last night. We should have got it last night. A little bit of a light relief here. Italian reports linking Inter Milan to Anthony Martial and talk of Skriniar and a swap deal. I mean, look, Anthony Martial is the positive from last night. He was voted your man of the match on the player ratings. I gave him man of the match as well. I think a lot of people did. He missed it. I got them. Look, you've always got to look on the brighter side, and you've got to start moving forward. Please smash a like on the video, by the way. And also, we are on the road to 750,000 subscribers. We're not far off, so please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Share the video. Hopefully, we'll get that done in the next day or so. Next couple of days. Massive achievement for the channel, and thanks to all of you lot. And on another positive, I think Anthony Martial was just superb last night. And unfortunately, not enough players played like Martial. And it's so ironic, isn't it? Because we've had ex-players of this club, pundits, mainstream media, fans of our club, forget outsiders, calling Anthony Martial lazy, not focused, is he good enough? And yet, yesterday, if you take Anthony Martial out of that team, we probably lose the game. You know, he fought to give the assist to Rashford. He scored a great individual goal. He teed Marcus Rashford up again. It was a good block. He could have scored then. Look, I saw somebody yesterday saying, I don't know why people are blaming Maguire. If Martial scores that one-on-one, we win that game. And I'm like, oh, God. What, the one-on-one when it was 0-0 in the first few minutes and there's a whole game for us to go and finish the game off? Look, Martial knows he should have scored that game, but he goes and scores a great individual goal. He sets up Rashford. I thought Martial was fantastic. There's no way we're going to sell Martial to Inter Milan or anybody at the moment. He's our most significant player and he's absolutely brilliant. He's been our best player after the break, says Jason Griffin. And I think he has now. I think other players have had bad games, whereas Martial hasn't had bad games. Even when he's not scored, he's still doing loads of things like Villa last week. So Martial is a massive positive for United. But I would say a word of warning. We've got to be really careful here. We've got to respond to this, because if we don't respond and we bottle it and we blow it, and it does get in our heads and we can't beat Palace and we can't beat West Ham and we don't beat Leicester. Look, let's be honest. We could get 3 draws from our next 9 points. We ain't getting top 4. We might finish as low as 7th because Sheffield United and Wolves could catch us. The risk is real now. The pressure is real. We've put that pressure onto ourselves by not beating a mid-table club at Old Trafford when we're playing really well. That's the cold, harsh fact. It's a disappointment. But the bigger thing is, if we didn't get top 4 and we didn't get Champions League football and we did prove to be a team that's on its days very good but not consistent, we won't keep Martial forever. We won't keep Pogba forever. Nobody's mentioning it about it, but Pogba played badly yesterday. Is Pogba now being sold to Real Madrid? Does he want to sign a new contract? These players won't stay at this club if we don't start being the Manchester United that we can be. There's pressure on this team this week. They've got to show that they are winners and they've got to show that they are heading in the right direction. Because, look, Martial to Inter Milan this summer is a laugh. But if Martial keeps playing like this, Martial to Real Madrid next summer is not a laugh. These players are very good players like Anthony Martial. And if we don't provide them the platform to be world-class players, they will go somewhere where they can be world-class players. So look, yeah, I think I feel the pressure this morning. I'm sure Solskjaer and the players will, and I'm sure some of the fans do as well. It's a wake-up call for us, and we've got to respond. And in some ways, it's not a bad thing. You know what? If we beat Southampton 4-0 last night, we're walking on sunshine and we're like, we're the best team in the world, we're going to win the league next year. You're going to have setbacks. And sometimes those setbacks are better happening sooner rather than later because it's how you react to it. We could have lost last night. Southampton, they should have been down to 10 men, of course, but you can't rely on those decisions. We could have lost last night. And if we'd lost last night, then we're talking about a loss. We drew. We should have won, but we drew. How we bounce back from that over the next 3 games is really important. So, look, let's bring it on. Bit of a wake-up call, bit of realism. And all eyes on the club and the players now because they did let themselves down, some of them last night. I don't know why. I don't know why Pogba and Bruno did. To me, they're 2 of the biggest disappointment last night because they've looked untouchable. And yet, against the Southampton midfield, they struggle. So I couldn't see that coming. I really couldn't see Pogba and Bruno having a bad game. I thought, no, we're past all that. So lots to learn, lots to move on from, and we will move on and we will do better. I'm confident that we'll still get 3rd place. Subam says, a must win against Leicester will be very difficult and the last day it will be a cup game, one mistake and everything can be finished. I think in relation to Leicester though, Subam, they will drop points before then. We're level on points with Leicester and our goal difference isn't much different. So Leicester could win their next 2, we could win our next 2, but we could be above them on goal difference. So Leicester might have to beat us on that last game of the season, which I think is unlikely. I think we're good enough to beat Leicester. We could have got Varane under Van Gaal, says Zane B. Ollie is the man, but needs to work on his tactics, says Anqui. Pogba wasn't great, says Antro. We don't know the latest on Luke Shaw's injury. Hopefully by later on today we will do. But to be honest with you, Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams to be playing in 2 days' time, I think it's risky, isn't it? Wan-Bissaka was very poor. I saw a tweet saying he doesn't know what he's going to do, which makes it hard for the opposition, says LCT. Well, I'm not going to turn on Wan-Bissaka, who's been our player of the year. Last couple of games, he's looked off. I don't know why that is, but every player has a dip in form, but we need him to get back quick. The whole, Wan-Bissaka, Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Greenwood, Maguire, it's very indicative of the team. They all had a poor game yesterday for different reasons. They've all got to prove they're better than that. And they're all leaders. Certainly Maguire's a captain, Bruno, Pogba, these are leaders. They've got to step up to the plate. I do feel a bit sorry for Ollie last night because so many of tactically we should have changed things, I agree. But when your big players don't perform and your bench is crap, you've got nowhere to go, really. Eyes are planning, and when I say the bench is crap, I'm not saying McTominay's crap or Fred's crap. I just think McTominay and Fred do a certain job. They don't create. They don't scare the opposition in that way in the final third, and that's what we missed yesterday from the midfield. Eyes are Planet says, I'm positive overall, but is this the beginning of Ollie's limitations we see? I love him, but perhaps we would need someone else for next level. Hope not. I think the limitations of the bench, as I just said there, this is why the club have got to sign Jadon Sancho, and I would get Jack Grealish as well. And people would say, well, we're going to win the league if we get those 2 players. I don't think it's about winning the league. I think it's about beating Southampton first. If you've got Sancho and Grealish last night, I think we beat them because your bench is stronger. I think some people think we're 2 players away from winning a title. I don't think we're 2 players away from winning a title at all. I think we're 2 years away from winning a title. And even if we get Grealish and Sancho, we won't win a title. That bench is not good enough. It isn't. And, how can you win a title when our best 11 can't beat Southampton at Old Trafford? I mean, that's the hard, blunt line here to take away. That was our best team. We couldn't beat Southampton. Southampton were as good as us. So Sancho and Grealish, for me, they make you be able to beat Southampton. Do they make you be able to be title winners? Maybe in a couple of years. But the steps, we're still 2 or 3 steps away. There's a lot of hope and there's a lot of progress. But patience is important and realism is important. And look, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd look at their situation and say you need 500 million spending. You need to sell 10 players. You need to bring 10 players in. And you need to make sure that Arteta's actually the right man. For me, Arsenal, title, 5 years at least away. So, United, we're further along that journey. There's a lot of hope, but I still think 2 years away. And that's if we buy the right players and still jettison the right players as well. It's about winning the league. It's about being consistent, says Broken. And we need a bench for like City, says Nixon TV. That's what we need. That's what we need. Hence the show. Sancho transfer risk. If we don't get top 4, do we get Sancho? Are the clubs still looking to get Sancho? Or are they thinking, oh, we're great with what we've got? We're not great with what we've got. We've got a very good 11. But if half of that 11 don't play well, you don't win the game. You've got to have a bench. You've got to have a bench. And at the moment, in an attacking sense, we haven't got a bench. You know, people yesterday said this game's perfect for Dan James. Dan James comes on and what? I was appalled by what Dan James did in the last minute, where he just pushed him in the back and gave a free kick away. You've got a fullback in his own, near the corner flag, under pressure. The last thing you do is give a foul away, because look, that's going to be the last kick of the game. If he puts it out for a throw-in, if he turns around and boots the ball off you and it goes for a goal kick, that's disappointing. If he gets a throw-in at it, that's disappointing. But look, he might kick that ball for a throw-in. We launch it in the box, Harry Maguire comes up, flick on, goal. You just don't know. You've got to stay in the game. And that's just, you know, again, you can't trust your bench. And we need better off the bench. We definitely do in an attacking sense. But look, I like Dan James. I think Dan James has got a good future at Manchester United. But it's not as good as having a Greenwood on the bench, or a Sancho on the bench, or a Rashford on the bench. And that's what the best teams do have. So, there we go. And we do need a centre-back. I agree with the Shamo. We also need a defender. That is crucial. Yeah, we needed last night you need a Van Dijk, you need a Vidic, you need a John Terry, you need somebody who's just going to go, right, a minute to go, there's a corner coming in, I don't care about zonal marking, I'm going to go and win that ball. So disappointed. Look, the tactics of zonal marking, that's what the coaches have told them to do. But Harry Maguire, you're the captain, you're the best header of the ball in the team. You can't just go and stay in your zone. You've got to go and win that ball. And that was disappointing to me. And look, Maguire's got an excuse. He'll say, I'm following the tactics. We're doing zonal marking. The ball didn't come into my area. For me, you know, you can't always be about tactics in a high-pressure game where it's basically the last attack of the game. Go and win the header. Were we hasty on signing Maguire for 80 million? I feel Smalling would have played better yesterday, says Wayne Rooney. Look, I ain't got a problem with Maguire in that sense. I do like Maguire. I just think it was a few mistakes at the moment. People miss good things Maguire does. Pogba made a mistake last game. Striker hits post, and today gave a goal away. Yes, but yet Maguire is slagged every time, says Joshua Harper. Look, Joshua's right. For the 10 minutes before they got the equaliser, I remember Harry Maguire winning loads of headers. I was like, yes. I even said it. This is Harry Maguire like the Everton game. Back in March, where they put about 20 corners in and he won everything. That's the frustrating thing, Josh. That is the frustrating thing. Harry Maguire was winning the headers in the box, and it reminded me of that Everton game where we drew and they put loads of crosses in and he won everything. He was superb. He was man of the match, and that's why that corner shouldn't happen, because he should just go, I'm Harry Maguire, oosh, and head it away. Disappointed, but we're going round the circles. We're going round in circles. Flex and KG show at 1 o'clock. Join them live for that, and then I'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight. Lots to discuss. And look, it's only 2 days till Crystal Palace, so bring it on. Thanks everyone for watching. Zonal marking is complete rubbish, says Kevin Boateng. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner on that road to 750,000, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you for watching.